Hello, Manish. Thank you for joining us on the Fox TV Hub. I know you're coming right now to us on your lunch break, so thank you for dedicating the time, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So we know that you are currently filming the fifth season of The Resident, and I was wondering if you had any inside scoop that you could share with us and the fans.
Oh, all right. Well, we are, like you said, we're shooting season 5 right now. And right now we're shooting the Halloween episode, which is super exciting. This season really takes a lot of twists and turns, kind of just what our show does every year. And I think what makes it super unique in the medical drama space. So I think this year we'll take our audience on some more wild rides. We're going to be talking about more of the relationships with all the characters. We're going to see them go on new journeys and see them experiencing a completely new lifestyle inside and outside the hospital.
Wow. Well, I'm very excited. I know the fans are crazy excited. And I want to, if you don't mind, ask some questions from the fans.
Yeah.
We've got a few. They're all very, very good. This one comes from Jilliana. How has it been seeing the fan base for The Resident grow since season 1? That's like a very good question.
Well, Juliana, first of all, it's super gratifying to see our fan base grow, seeing people find themselves in the show and within our characters. I think that makes it super special. From season 1 to season 5, we have obviously a loyal fan base that tunes in every week. I think people find themselves in the story, not just with the characters and the stories that we're telling, but just this idea that everybody can somewhat connect to the world of medicine, because everyone hopefully has a doctor or knows someone who's experienced something in the medical space. So everybody sort of has a firsthand relationship with the themes of our show.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true, man. And you guys, I mean, I always say this, it's like you guys are the first, yeah, I mean, you're the superheroes, of the real life, whether it's doctors or first responders. So it's really cool to see you play someone like this. So very good question. The second one comes from Yasmin. In your opinion, what was a part of the show that has impacted your life and the people who watch the show's lives?
I think the most impactful thing, and great question, Yasmin, was probably season 4 when we talked about COVID and the pandemic and how that affected the characters in the show, but also how we are talking about healthcare professionals and frontline workers who were so a part of our lives. And so to bring that and reflect that on screen in season 4 was hugely impactful, not just as an actor in the show, but I think in space of society. So I thought that was a hugely impactful moment and a special season for our show that I don't think any of us will forget, because we were talking about real life issues and this pandemic that we're all going through on a global level. So I think that is the long answer to your question.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Man, it is a crazy time.
It is.
All right, Manish, next question comes from Trinity. What would you say is your favorite part of your job?
That is a good question, Trinity. I've got a lot of favorite parts of my job, but specifically on The Resident, I think one of the coolest parts of just the job and coming to work every day is the rehearsal process, and that small amount of time that we have right before we shoot a scene where all the characters are together and it's the first time that we're hearing each other's words, and we come together and we talk about what those words mean and how it relates to each character's story and what they're going how it relates to what they're experiencing in that episode. So to just play some amount of time is probably my favorite thing to do before we start shooting, and understanding how we're going to build the scene and tell the story together.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. It's rare that you get some, or any rehearsal time on TV, because it moves so fast. So I totally feel the same way. it's like if you get even
Yeah,
5 minutes, I mean, I appreciate it so much.
sometimes it is 5 minutes, and sometimes it's it can go longer. But that
Yeah,
FaceTime and that interaction, and understanding where everyone is coming from in
yeah,
their character's life is important, and it helps make the scene. It helps elevate the scene.
yeah. And you guys have a huge cast as well, right? So it's probably really fun to just everybody be there. It almost feels like theater. It's so
Yeah,
nice, man.
yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Well, the next question is from Ramanoff Danver. What is it like to record a medical series that portrays so much the reality of the U.S. healthcare system? Damn, that's a good question.
That's a great question, and I think it's a responsibility, not just for the actors, but the whole team, the writers, the producers. Everybody is there, and they want to portray a reality of what's going on in the real world as best as we can, because we're representing real people and real stories, real diseases, real medical conditions. So I think that it comes with a responsibility that across the board, everybody here takes very seriously. So I think that's ultimately what it's like to be on a medical drama right now, especially when we're living through a time when we're so focused on medicine and we're so focused on the people who are providing care to us. So I think that that's one of the most unique things about The Resident is that we do aim to portray reality and what's happening in the real world and how that's really affecting all of us.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys are highlighting all these heroes that sometimes, they might get overlooked, and these are the people literally on the front line, and they have no breaks, and it's all year round, and it's shows like yours are just so important right now, and they're always important, but right now it's so crucial, so
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, I
it's
think
pretty
giving
amazing, man.
yeah, I think it to people who may not have one right now, particularly the healthcare community. So I think that's
Yeah,
it's pretty special.
for sure. Next question is from Megan. What is one thing you would say to your characters from season one? I love this question.
Ah, well, I'd say a lot of things for my character season one, but I think particularly I would tell Devin in season one to relax
Mm-hmm.
and just trust your instincts. I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
I would tell him in season one, because I think season one he comes into the hospital fresh out of medical school with an background, an practical one, and oftentimes that can sometimes come with a bit of a chip on your shoulder, some bravado that has to be taken down a bit. So I think that perspective is what Devin came in with, and I think if I were to see that today and see him now, and I would say to just trust your instincts, relax, and ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good advice for everyone. Just ask questions, try to relax. Yeah, that's a good point. Next question is from Milen. What is the most challenging scene you've done?
Mm. So uh, the medical scenes that are are intense in the ER, where we're sort of spouting medical dialogue a mile a minute. Those are pretty challenging, especially when they're moving so
Yeah,
fast and they involve a lot of characters and the cameras are moving, and sometimes they're all one single shot. So you have to get it right. So the pressure is on. So that's one type of challenge. But another type of challenge is just there was a scene last season where my character, after having a really rough day, after my character's dad passes away, he comes back to his house to confront his mother about his behavior in that episode. And it was a really special and cool scene where Devin and his mom come together and they're realizing their own pain and how they can help each other, be there for each other. And that was a very intense but relevant scene because it was about COVID and how his father passed from not having proper care. So
mm-hmm.
That was a very important and difficult scene because we were talking about things that are happening every day, all the time, but also how it related to our characters and how we were going to move forward together. So, yeah, that might be one of the most challenging ones, and one of my favorites.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a super loaded scene. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Last question
Good.
comes from Ethan. When you first started on The Resident, were you nervous about doing a medical drama? And now that season 5 is about to air, how has your opinion changed?
Oh, hell yeah, I was nervous because to portray a doctor, an individual, and a person in the community that everybody can relate to, and to find your own identity in that's hard. I wanted to make sure that my character was unique on his own, and he had his own brand of medicine or whatever that may be. So to start from scratch, like my character did in the very beginning of the show, season 1, fresh out of med school, it was definitely. Definitely intimidating, but I think now over the years, kind of figured out what makes him unique. He's a very empathetic character and doctor, so I think I found, or I'm working to find, what makes him a special kind of doctor. Because I think every doctor is different, and I don't think any two doctors are the same. And I think so. Figuring that out for my character over the years was one of the coolest experiences about playing him.
Wow, man. Well, that's it for the fan questions. Manish, thank you so much for joining us on this first ever Fox TV Fan Hub. And
Nice.
Don't forget that season 5 of The Resident premieres on Tuesday, September 21st. Thank you, Manish, so much, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Stoked to be here, and can't wait for you to see the episode.